Hi, I'm Tara Umverzat. I am president and senior lead planner at South Bay Financial Partners. Happy New Year. We love to start out the year with our January journey to financial wellness. And if you're listening to this, I'm guessing you're joining our journey. I'm here to do a little recap of what we've been covering this week. We started with January 1st, looking at what we're grateful for. It's an important part of financial well-being and well-being in general to make sure that we think about what we are grateful for. Research has definitely shown that that helps you keep an optimistic viewpoint and helps you accomplish things, to know that you can do things and to appreciate what you have around you. That also gets back to one of our basic tenets also, that a lot of people feel like if they had more money, they'd be happy. And the research shows that regardless of how much money you have, you tend to stay at the same level of happiness, unless you're not making enough. And enough can be different for different people. The research shows if you have an average salary, that you tend to be as happy as you're going to be. If you, and right now I think the average salary is about $75,000. So if you make $75,000, however happy you are right there, that's probably your happiness ratio. If you make $150,000, you tend not to be more happy than you are when you're at that average level. I will note that I found that if you live in a community or have a community of friends that make $100,000, then usually that number for your key happiness is $100,000. Or if your family is a family that tends to make $200,000 or $50,000, that ends up being your benchmark. And that if you're pretty much keeping up with the people around you, you tend to feel as happy as you're going to be. But how happy you are is up to you. So appreciating the things that are around you are really the key to happiness. And so it's really not about making more money. It's about understanding and really appreciating what you do have. And if you have more, appreciating that. If you have less, appreciating, what you do have in the community that you have around you. So we started with gratitude and being grateful for what we have. And that is a way to increase your happiness and your financial well-being. So we started there, and hopefully you had a few things that you are grateful for. I know for me, it's definitely my family, riding my bike, being able to travel. Those are the things that I'm most grateful for. We went on to budgeting basics. This can be really fun for some people who love budgeting, love spreadsheets, love that little app and posting things. But for a lot of us, that's not as fun. And it ends up being a chore. So we gave some tips on how you might do that differently. Know that we find that people often need to try a few different ways until they find the tool or the system that works for them. And for some people, it's as easy as one number. I have $500 to spend this week. And once I've spent my $500, I'm done. Or I have, this amount of money for groceries. I have this amount of money for eating out and entertainment. Once that money is gone, then I say no for the rest of the week or month or whatever your one number is. If that works for you, we love that. But if that's not working for you, we have some other tools that you can use and to try and see what works for you. Don't give up. It takes time to find the right tool. It takes time to get the right tool to work for you and to get in the habit of using it. So know that if you start out with something and you try it for a while and it's just not working, try something else. You will eventually find, pretty much everybody that we work with finds some way of keeping track of their spending and budgeting to stay on track. If you need help, definitely give us, hop over into our community. We'll have a link down below. Your Amazing Financial Life, YAFL for short, YAFL. Jump over there, ask us some questions, and also on social media, we can definitely help you out. So budgeting was number 2. That is sort of foundational. You need to learn how to spend less than you make and invest for your future. Very fundamental, very simple idea, not necessarily easy to do. So get started and then we can help you improve on that over time. The third day, we talked about money mindset. This is probably the key to the whole system of financial wellness. And actually, the money mindset is often the key to that last thing that we were just talking about, budgeting. And it's also the key to the first thing we were talking about, gratitude and being happy. So, getting your money mindset in a place where you're happy and satisfied and making decisions that are good for you is really, really key, can be really, really difficult. We had a survey that you can take that gives you a clue of where you might be having some stumbling blocks, but do know what your money mindsets are. Understand what money mindsets are helping you with your financial well being. That could include being money vigilant, which is, saving money for a rainy day, keeping track of things, and just paying attention to your money. That's money vigilant. That can be really helpful. Then there's some other money scripts that can hold you back. If you think rich people are greedy, it's going to hold you back. You're never going to be rich if you think that rich people are greedy. Who would want to become greedy? So that can actually help you make decisions that are not allowing you to move forward because you don't want to make so much money. You don't want to accumulate money because if you do, then subconsciously you think you'll become a bad person. You need to let go of those stories and know that some people who are rich do bad things and are greedy, but there's a lot that's not. And that's your choice. Whether you're greedy when you get rich is a choice you have. It's not a causational. It's not when you get more money, you become greedy. It's a choice that you make that as you accumulate, you can be generous or you can not be generous. That's up to you. So you can make those decisions. But understanding what your money mindsets are and those stories that you're telling yourself that might be holding you back, super important for moving forward. The fourth day, we did a vision board. If you can't dream it, you can't make it happen. So dream your dreams, get that down, like really get a vision, get a clear vision of where you're trying to go. It's also really important to take some time to figure out, like, why are those things your dreams? Why do you want to live this life that's in front of you? And is it that you think that people with this kind of life have a certain things happening to them that they are happier or they have more friends or whatever? Be careful about that because sometimes it doesn't go the way you think it is. And as a matter of fact, what I have found is as people get wealthier, they actually have less friends and tend to be isolated. So they think that they want to have a lot of money so that they can, live this life of luxury and fun and being around all these people and blah, blah, blah. And it tends to not go that way. So if that's why you want to accumulate wealth, you might think twice about that. But if you are thinking about like connection with family or with friends and being able to support yourself so that you're not a burden on other people or that you can give a lending hand to somebody who is in need, things like that can be really fulfilling and be successful visions going forward. So really sort of dig into why you want to have the vision board that you want and make sure that it's things that make you feel better, that makes you feel satisfied, and that it's not like what society thinks. Society says that I'm supposed to, be traveling all over the world and posting pictures on social media. That's what's going to make me happy. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. So, think about what makes you happy, what makes you feel self-fulfilled, what makes you feel worthy, and know that we are all worthy. And it's not because we have money that we're worthy. It's our presence in the world, the energy that we bring to people, the connections that we have. That's what makes us worthy. And it's not the amount of money that we have in the bank or the amount of money that we have in investments. So those are some of the things that we've done this week. And I'd like you to take a moment to really pull all of that together and think about, what is sort of getting in your way and thinking about those money scripts that we talked about, like saving for a rainy day or rich people are greedy or money buys power, money buys freedom. These are really common things that people carry with them. And to be honest, our culture reinforces that and says that that is true. And all money scripts, all money stories that we tell ourselves, all of them are true some of the time, not all of the time. I was just reading about OpenAI and how Elon Musk was one of the original investor and part of making that happen. And at some point along the way, the company decided they didn't want Elon Musk in it. and they kicked him out, and they kicked out his money, and that really was a hardship for them. But it was the right thing to do because they realized that Elon Musk was pulling them in a direction that they didn't necessarily want to go. And this was a perfect example of, you know, money didn't buy him in. It wasn't money. Money didn't give him the power and the influence that he thought it was. Money sometimes buys you power, sometimes buys you freedom, but sometimes it doesn't. And it's really up to you as to whether you're going to allow money to control your life or whether you're going to choose to control your money. We recommend that you control your money. You don't let your money control your life. And so when you think about money, what comes up? And when you thought about making a budget, when you thought about those money scripts and money stories that we tell ourselves, when you thought about that vision board, what came up? What could you lean into and say, yes, I want to go this direction? And what things came up that said, oh my gosh, I need to do this so that this other thing doesn't happen. Like, I need to get to $1 million so that I'm not a bag lady on the street when I retire. Or I need to make money so that my friends and family will accept me. Or I need to have money so that whatever makes you nervous, anxious, afraid, those things are areas that you might want to dig into. Like, what makes you afraid? What do you think that you need money for, or you need a car or a house for, so that a bad thing doesn't happen? And sit in that for a little while. And you know, we talked about gratitude in the beginning, but sometimes you need to sit in those other not so happy thoughts, those things that make you nervous, anxious, afraid. Where are those coming from? Where is that feeling deep down coming from? And I'll tell you, one of the stories that I have is that I have trouble spending money, and writing big checks makes me really nervous, makes me a good wealth accumulator, but doesn't help me live my best life. And I realized it went back to growing up and being taught that you put money in the bank, you don't take money out. And so I learned viscerally, like, my body gets anxious when I take money out of the bank. And so, again, not living my best life because I'm holding on to this story that I learned as a child. And yes, it makes sense. And yes, I should be paying attention when I do spend money. And yes, I should make sure that I have enough money and this is on the budget. But if I do all of those things, that little part of me that gets anxious about spending money really should probably relax a little bit and allow me to do those things that I want to do that bring me joy and live my best life. And I shouldn't let that anxious part that says, no, put money, basically a Scrooge kind of part, right? That says, put money in the bank, never take it out, never spend money, just save, save, save. I need to work with that. You might have another part, you might not have that part. And I'll say that everybody has a spending part and a saving part. And if they're in balance, that's where you get financial well-being. If you have a part that wants to save and not spend, like I can do, you're not going to live your best life. And if you have a part that wants to spend and you listen to that all the time and you're ignoring that part that says, let's put some into the bank for an emergency fund. Let's invest it in for our future so that we can have more choices in the future. If you tend to be that way, you might have a conversation with that spending part and find out, what is it afraid of that it doesn't want to put money into saving? What is it afraid of if you don't buy these things, go out to eat, dress a certain way, have a certain car, whatever it is, however you spend your money. If you didn't do that, what is it afraid that will happen? Have a little conversation with that part, and see if you can't let it just sort of relax a little bit and realize, no, you don't need to buy all of those things. And sometimes it might be better not to go out to eat and instead put that money into your emergency fund or put it into your retirement fund. Finding that balance of living today well and investing for your future so that your future self also has choices and can have that good life also, and be proud of the decisions that you made today. That's what we're looking for, that balance. That's when you get to financial wellness. And if you have anxiety about spending too much, spending too little, saving too much, saving too little, any of those things, like sit with it for a little while, and it might be uncomfortable. I'm going to say it is absolutely going to be uncomfortable, but it's okay. You'll survive it and you'll come out on the other side with more financial well-being, with a stronger motivation to live your best life now and set yourself up for success later. And if you need any help with sorting all of this through and you know that you get anxious and it's just a swirl in your head and you can't figure out that one thing or that's holding you back, sign up for a financial one-on-one financial therapy. Sign up for a one-on-one financial therapy session and we can help you sort through that. We're not going to have the answers for you, but we're going to have the right questions for you to think about in order to navigate to living your best life.